Previous video, I mentioned that I had installed an S&B drop-in air filter for my 18 Ram. So I'm going to talk about that briefly. So I went with S&B because I've owned several S&B colder intake systems for my trucks. I had one on my 16 Ram Cummins. I had one on my 2011 Ram and on my 99 as well. But I always purchased a full intake. Well, this time I did something a little different. I remember when I purchased the colder intake for my 2016. I remember that it didn't really make much of a difference. So this time I decided to keep my factory intake. I removed the intake foam baffle system and I installed the drop-in filter, which is part number 66-5007. It's this one right here. So I installed this filter, and when I got the filter from S&B, came in a nice, it was wrapped, it was clean. I looked at the pleats. The oil looked evenly distributed, so that was good. Construction of the filter itself was good. It was sturdy. Didn't feel like it would crumble or anything like that, or you could fold it up. Had a good, well-made, high quality feel to the filter. When I removed the foam baffle system that's in the intake, I could hear the turbo just a little bit more. But when I installed the S&B oiled filter, this one right here, the turbo whistle was much more pronounced. You could definitely hear it a lot better. It sounds good. It's not overly irritating like some trucks, but it's enough where you can hear it and it's satisfying, but it's not too much that if you've got a headache, the truck's going to drive you nuts. So it sounds really good. I've already put, I don't know, a few thousand miles on it, I think, maybe more, I don't know. You can look at my video, you can calculate the mileage in the video. But anyways, when I had, a couple days ago, I had checked on the filter, I just kind of want to see how it's looking, how it's holding up. I checked inside the air intake tube to see if there was any dust particles getting past it, and there wasn't. It was very clean. It was dry. There was no oil film on anything, and overall, I'm very pleased with this. So people sometimes worry about the oil getting on the mass airflow sensor. Well, that typically happens if you accidentally over oil these things. I've never had any issues. S&B has a kit that's really nice that you can, each filter has predetermined amount of oil that needs to be added. So you just follow the instructions and add the correct amount of oil and you'll never go wrong. But sometimes, other people, sometimes they add too much oil, and that's why their MAF sensors get covered in oil. But I've never experienced that, and I've owned oiled filters, and I had one on my 16 and my 11, and they were oiled. So, and I never had any issues. But anyways, I think this is a great alternative. It's a cheaper alternative. I mean, it's 40 bucks, plus tax, shipping. I don't know, maybe 50 bucks at the most. Definitely well worth it. And if you buy the cold air intake, yeah, you can spend over $300, $400 ish. But it's not really, just save you money. Just pull out the intake baffle, install the drop-in filter, and it'll do just the same. It'll be just fine. So, and you can look at my mileage report, the previous video before this one, and you can compare the mileage between the factory air filter and then this one. So I'll let you guys can determine that. So anyways, just my 2 cents.